We're back on Get Up. We are back to the NBA. Bulls, Knicks, mid-90s. This would be great. Jalen Brunson, top of the key, mid-range. Big shot from Brunson. Seen that out of him time and time again. Tied at 104. Bulls inbounding. Nikola Vucevic to Mikal Bridges. Gets blocked by Bridges. Take another look.
I mean, that right there is why the Bulls are who they are. They have a center on a wing, at the basket, at the buzzer, and he gets blocked.
Like Vucci Main, Tim Bontemps thought he was going to get one in. He couldn't. Overtime, Brunson to Karl Anthony Towns. Elbow. Bounce.
Needed some elbow grease to get that one in.
Knicks up by 7, paid his membership dues on time. Then Kobe White drills the 3, Bulls down 2, under 10 seconds left. White under pressure, finds Vucevic, misses the fadeaway at the buzzer. Brunson, 22 points, 12 assists. Towns, 32 and 18. Knicks win yet another nail biter, 113 to 111. And beating teams like the Bulls has really been no issue for the Knicks, but you got to be able to beat the Celtics and Cavs in the East. They haven't done that this season against the rest of the East. New York is 26 and 8. Their 2 losses against Boston were both by more than 20 points as well. So Wendy, Tim Bontemps, Tim McMahon are back with us to talk a little NBA. And now we're getting to a stretch. Wendy, I just alluded to it a second ago. You can beat up on some of the bottom teams, but now you got to prove it over the next 5 days. The Knicks have the schedule to do that. So in your mind, what can they prove over the next 5 days?
By the way, classic Bontemps there, focusing on the Bull guy missing as opposed to Mikal Bridges having arguably the defensive play of the year so far, but that's okay. That's who our guy is. So good news and bad news for the Knicks. Look, they are playing great. They have won 8 out of 10. Karl Towns and Jalen Brunson are a perfect combination offensively. But defensively, this team just isn't there, and it shows up against the Cavs and the Knicks, or the Cavs and the Celtics, because they're the worst defensive three-point team in the league. That's right, they rank 30th, and the Cavs and the Celtics are both very high in the list, both in the top 10 in terms of makes on three-pointers, and Celtics are number 1 in volume. And by the way, the Grizzlies, who they have to play next week, as in sort of this gauntlet goes on, they're in the top 5 or 6 as well. And the big challenge, though, for the Knicks is health. Josh Hart is out last night with a sore knee. We'll see if OG Anunoby or Mitchell Robinson can play this weekend. I'm going to give them the opportunity to see their full team together before I judge them, but their defense is going to maybe hold them back against these top teams.
All right, so Tim Bontemps, you heard it there. There's health issues, there's defensive issues with this team. So let's just assume the Knicks are at the height of their powers. Can they beat the Celtics or Cavs?
They can maybe beat the Cavs. They played them once earlier this year. I think they match up decently with Cleveland. They've got a couple guys to throw at Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. Karl Anthony Towns could stay on Jared Allen. That's a defensive matchup he can hang with. I've been at both Celtics-Knicks games, though. I don't think they have any chance of beating the Boston Celtics. The Celtics are able to stretch out the Knicks defensively. Karl Towns really has to get all the way out to the three-point line. He does not handle that very well. That's why the Knicks lost the first game on opening night by 23. And they lost the game a couple weeks ago at the Garden by 27, and that was without Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday playing in that game. The Celtics, I think, are just too much for them to handle. And look, we'll see if they can even handle the Cavs, but the problem for the Knicks is, as of now, the only way they're going to get to the Cavs is if they beat the Celtics in the second round, and I just don't see how that's happening.
So, Timmy Mack, having said all of this, what do you believe the ceiling is for a talented Knicks team, but maybe not enough to get over that Eastern Conference hump?
I tell you what, man, my optimism just faded a little bit listening to the urine-soaked wet blanket, Tim Bontemps. My goodness. But look, I can squint and create a championship ceiling here. Jalen Brunson, big-time proven playoff performer. Karl Anthony Towns, unbelievably skilled. Maybe the spirit of Willis Reed will infect him. OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, guys that you can throw at primary scorers. I think you can argue there's a championship ceiling, but I don't think the elevator is going to get to that floor. I think it's going to get off probably a second round type of stop there.
The thing with this Knicks team is they're betting on the next 4 or 5 years with this group being able to stick together, giving them the kind of runway where they can eventually be a championship level team at some point during this run. Just hard to see it happening this season.
By the way, if Tim McMahon is our optimist during this current panel, we have got a problem way bigger than the Knicks might have defensively. Hey, look at this. Let us run the floor with Tim McMahon, Tim Bontemps, and Brian Windhorst as we take a look at the full slate of NBA games last night. Timmy Mack, I'm going to start with you. The Knicks took down the Bulls in overtime. Are the Knicks legit title contenders?
Legit? That's a little bit strong. I'll go with fringe title contenders. This is a team that has the 5th best record in the league, 6th best point differential. Hey, offensively, they're absolutely contender status. Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, one of the best offensive duos in the league. Strange to say about a Tibbs team, the defense isn't good enough to give them a good chance to win a championship.
Tim Bontemps, fringe or legit, you think?
Fringe, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Because, like Tim said, their defense with Karl Anthony Towns at center is not good enough. We've seen consistently throughout Cat's career, if he's at center, your offense is going to be great. Your defense is going to be subpar. That's why the Minnesota Timberwolves made the Rudy Gobert trade a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Mitchell Robinson is not going to be the solve there, assuming he can get out on the court and play. He can't guard against the Celtics. Not going to be good.
Wendy, fringe, legit, where do you weigh in?
They would potentially have the toughest run to a title of any team in the league. They would have to potentially beat Boston and Cleveland to get there, two teams they haven't been able to touch so far this year in their meetings, and then beat the team from the West. I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to be insulting. No, I don't think they're winning those 12 games against those teams.
And speaking
How's it going, everybody? Villa Sports Network here. Just want to thank you guys for your support on the channel. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Also want to kind of remind you to don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on the video if you like as well. But regardless of the fact, thank you again for your support, and hope to see you on the next video.